Introduction to division. What is division? Division is the process of breaking a number into equal parts and then finding out how many parts can be made. For example, on the board we have 18 divided by 3. To find out how many times 18 can be divided by 3, I'm going to put 18 lines on the board and then break these 18 lines up into groups of 3 to see how many groups of 3 can be made. Let's underline groups of 3. That's 1 group, 2 groups, 3. Here is the 4th group, the 5th group, and last the 6th group. So we broke up 18 lines into how many groups of 3? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Correct. We broke up 18 lines into groups of 3, 6 groups of 3. So 18 divided by 3 is 6. Let's do one more example. 10 divided by 2, using the concept of division. On the board, we have 10 lines. I'm going to break up these 10 lines into groups of 2 to see how many groups of 2 I have. We have 5 groups of 2. Therefore, 10 divided by 2 is 5. 2 goes into 10 5 times. Now, let's say we wanted to check our answer to make sure that was correct. We could multiply. If we multiply 2 times 5, we should get 10. And 2 times 5 equals 10. Therefore, our answer is correct. 10 divided by 2 equals 5. You can use multiplication to check your answer. Notice that the title changed to Now You Try It. I want you to take this math problem, 12 divided by 6, and using the division method I just showed you in the last 2 examples, I want you to figure out the answer to this problem. Please pause the video at this time if you need to do so, and then when you have your answer, come back and we'll go over it together. Now that you've completed this math problem, let's go over it together. The first step you should have taken were to write 12 lines. And the next step was to divide these 12 lines into groups of 6 because the math problem is 12 divided by 6. If you divide 12 lines into groups of 6, you will have 2 groups of 6, which means that 12 divided by 6 is 2. 6 can go into 12 2 times. And if you wanted to check your answer, we can use multiplication to do so by multiplying 6 times 2. 6 times 2 equals 12. Because 6 times 2 is 12, that confirms that our answer is correct. Congratulations! If you've made it this far in the video, you now know the definition of division and you understand the general idea of how division works. We are now ready to move on to part 2. There are 4 parts to this introduction to division video. In part 2, you will learn the fastest and easiest way to divide whole numbers by counting in multiples and using the multiplication method. The first method for solving division problems when dividing whole numbers is to count in multiples. Our first example is 25 divided by 5. We can find the answer to this math problem if we count in multiples of 5. I want you to count along with me in multiples of 5, and I want you to count on your fingers. Let's count together. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, and stop. Once we reach 25, that's when we stop counting, because 25 is the number we're dividing into. Now, how many fingers did you count on before reaching 25? Correct. We counted on 5 fingers. Therefore, 5 goes into 25 5 times. 25 divided by 5 equals 5. Let's try that again. Our next example is 42 divided by 6. In this example, I want you to count on your fingers again using both hands. And while you count on your fingers, I'm going to write the numbers down. We're going to count in multiples of 6. 6, 12, 18, 24, 30, 36, 42. And this is where we stop. We stop at 42 because we are dividing into 42. So once we reach 42, we stop. How many fingers did you count on when you reached 42? Yes, 7 fingers. So therefore, 6 goes into 42 7 times. 42 divided by 6 is 7. Solving division problems using the multiplication method. Our first example is 104 divided by 8. 104 is a big number, and the best way to divide into a big number is to use the multiplication method. The multiplication method starts out by taking an educated guess. That's right, an educated guess. We have to guess which number times 8 would give us 104. Whatever number multiplied by 8 gives us 104, that number is our answer to this division problem. So we're going to start by multiplying 8 by several numbers until we get 104 as our answer. So let's take an educated guess and try the number 9. So 9 is not the number because multiplying 8 by 9 only gives us 72. 72 is not the number we're looking for. We need to multiply 8 by a higher number. Let's try 12. 8 times 12. Let's see what we get. Eight times 12 is only 96, and 96 is not what we're looking for either. Therefore, we need to multiply by a number higher than 12. So let's try 13. Okay, 13 times 8 is 104. Because 8 times 13 gives us 104, that means that 13 is the number we're looking for. Okay, so 13 is our answer to this division problem. 13 times 8 is 104. Therefore, 104 divided by 8 equals 13. 8 goes into 104 13 times. Let's try another example. Our next example is 252 divided by 42. We have to take an educated guess to see what number times 42 would give us 252. Whatever number times 42 equals 252, that number is our answer to this division problem. Let's start by guessing with the number 8. If we were to multiply 42 by 8, let's see if it would give us 252 as an answer. (42 times 8 is 336. 336 is not the number we're looking for. That number is actually larger than 252, which means that 8 was too big of a number to multiply by 42 because it gave us an answer higher than the number we were looking for. So let's multiply 42 again by a smaller number, smaller than 8. I'm going to come down and try the number 4. 42 times 4. And 4 might work. (42 times 4 is 168. So using 4 was too small of a number. 8 was too large of a number. So the number we have to multiply 42 by is in between 8 and 4. We have to keep multiplying until we get an answer of 252. So let's try the number 6. If we multiply 42 by 6, let's see what we get. Maybe we'll get 252 as an answer. Okay, so 42 times 6 is 252. So 6 is the number we're looking for. Six is our answer. Multiplying 6 by 42 gave us 252. That means that 6 is the answer to this division problem. 252 divided by 42 equals 6. 42 goes into 252 6 times. Let's continue. Our next example is 162 divided by 18. Again, we're using the multiplication method. Let's see what number times 18 would give us 162 as an answer. Whatever number times 18 equals 162, that's the number that we're looking for, because that would be the answer to this division problem. Let's get started. If we were to multiply 18 by 3, 18 times 3 is only 54. So multiplying by 3 will not work. That number is too small. We need to multiply 18 by a higher number so that we can get a higher answer. Remember, the answer has to be 162 after we multiply. Let's try again. What if we were to multiply 18 by 8? Maybe that would give us 162 as an answer. $18 times 8 is 144. That answer is much closer to the number we're looking for. So I know we're getting close, but we're not there yet. The answer must be 162, not 144. So let's multiply 18 by 9. Let's try one number higher than 8. Let's see what we get if we multiply 18 by 9. $18 times 9 is 162. 162 is the answer we're looking for. That means that 9 is the answer to this division problem, because multiplying 18 by 9 give us 162. So 162 divided by 18 equals 9. 18 goes into 162 9 times. And that is how you use the multiplication method to solve division problems. Welcome to part 3 of Introduction to Division. In part 3, I'm going to show you the difference between division formats. There are 2 different types of division formats that you will be working with in mathematics. Let's start with the format on the left. The division format on the left only requires one step when completing a problem. You simply read the problem from left to right and then state your answer. 15 divided by 5 equals 3. Now take a look at the format to the right. The division format on the right has what we call a long division bar. That's the symbol that is separating the numbers 5 and 15. This format requires 3 steps before your answer is complete. First, you must divide. Second, you will multiply. And third, you must subtract. Let me show you how to divide with this division format. 5 goes into 15 3 times. And notice I placed the answer above the last digit of the number I'm dividing into. Remember, the second step is to multiply. We must multiply 5 times 3. 5 times 3 is 15. Let's place that number underneath the number we're dividing into. So we're going to write 15 here. The third step is to subtract. 15 minus 15. 15 minus 15 is 0. And we're done. We completed all 3 steps. We divided, we multiplied, and we subtract. And that is the 3 steps that is necessary when dividing using this division format. Welcome to part 4, terminology. In this last part of the video, I'm going to discuss the terminology for division. So if you happen to hear any of these words, you will understand what they mean. Let's begin with the number 15. The number that we were dividing into is called the dividing. The number you are dividing into is called the dividing, and this is how it's spelled. Number 5 is the number that was dividing into 15. The number we're using to divide is called the divisor. The number 5 is known as a divisor. The terms are the same for both division formats. The number 3 was our answer, better known as the quotient. The answer to a division problem is called the quotient. So if you have a math problem that says find the quotient, let's say find the quotient of 5 and 15, the quotient means they want you to divide. The quotient is the answer to a division problem. The last term you should be familiar with is remainder. Take a look at the second math format. Let's say if we were finished with our division problem, instead of 0, there was a number there. If there was another number after subtracting left over, but we were done dividing, that number is called the remainder. Any other digit besides 0 that is left over after we're done dividing, that digit is called the remainder. And that completes the introduction to division. Thank you so much for sticking around. I hope you learned a lot. If you did, please give this video a thumbs up and remember to subscribe for more helpful math tutorials.